Welcome back to the Commonwealth Matters. I'm Richard Nelson here with State Representative Nancy Tate, and Representative Tate sponsored House Bill 3, the Healthcare in Humanity Act, which was also vetoed by Governor Andy Beshear. Representative Tate, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this, Richard.
Hey, I thought it'd be good to have you on the program to hear your response to the governor's veto of House Bill 3. Of course, you have been a champion of the pro-life cause ever since you were elected. And this was a pro-life bill that covered several aspects, dealt with closing some loopholes regarding minors getting an abortion. It also addressed fetal remain disposal, humane fetal remain disposal at abortion centers, restricted chemical abortions through the mail, or abortifacient pills through the mail, and then also required doctors to have abortionists. I don't really like to call them doctors, but abortionists to have admitting privileges at local hospitals. Governor Beshear vetoed this, and this is what he said in part. He objected to the legality. He said the Supreme Court has ruled that such requirements are unconstitutional, and it makes it impossible for women, including a child who's a victim of rape or incest, to obtain a procedure in certain areas of the state. And when you talk about exceptions to abortion restrictions, rape and incest are probably the most emotionally volatile. Can you address that? The rape and incest exception?
Yeah, Richard, I think that's a very interesting argument that the governor puts out, as well as, all the other people that are in opposition to this bill. This was one of the most prominent, I guess, the debatable piece of this bill. The thing that's really interesting is that right now, abortions can be performed in the Commonwealth of Kentucky up to 20 weeks of gestation. And so the interesting piece is that there's nothing at all in the current bill, the current law, that prevents a woman that's been raped or the baby that has been conceived from incest or rape from having an abortion. So there's nothing at all that prevents a woman up to 20 weeks of gestation from having an abortion. So they have 20 weeks to make that decision. After that, as we know, then the risk continues to increase for the mother if they were to make that decision to have that abortion after the 20 weeks. Yeah. So there's nothing that prevents a woman from having that. And I don't know that there's any point in actually going back and making a specific provision for rape or incest, especially since less than 1% of the pregnancies where the women that from a rape or at least or less than 1% of those occurrences actually result in a pregnancy. So I don't see the point of the argument.
Yeah, no, thank you for addressing that. I think that's often a red herring. They'll say, well, there's no rape or incest exceptions, and in reality, it's really not necessary. One important provision I forgot to mention, and you were alluding to this, there is an abortion ban actually after 15 weeks. The Senate included Max Wise's bill that would ban abortions after 15 weeks. It follows Mississippi's law, which was it's being considered by the U.S. Supreme Court right now, and court watchers believe that it has a very good chance of being upheld. And Kentucky, if this veto is overridden, will have a 15-week abortion ban on the books. Representative Tate,
if I could go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no,
I was going to say, I just want to elaborate on that just a little bit. One of the things that, if anybody listened to that Supreme Court argument, it was very interesting to me because the whole point of Roe versus Wade in 1973 was the topic was when does life begin and when is viability? So what the Attorney General Fitz from Mississippi is asking for is that the Supreme Court readdress the viability of the infant in the womb. And with that, potentially Roe versus Wade could be overturned. And so we're expecting that ruling. That ruling has to be made before June 30th of this year. And if the Supreme Court does do exactly like Attorney General Fitch is asking for, then that basically we're asking for Roe versus Wade to be overturned, which would return the decisions about the abortions back to the states, which is really truly what we're asking for.
Yeah, and thanks for bringing that up, because with that being the case, and that seems to be the direction the court is moving in, then Governor Beshear's and other pro-abortion politicians' argument of it's unconstitutional simply goes out the window, doesn't it?
That simply goes away. Yes, sir. That's complete. That's exactly right. And then, of course, then it falls right back to hopefully House Bill 91, which was passed during the 2020 session, which will be on the ballot in November, that would state that in the event that Roe versus Wade is overturned, then this will be a constitutional amendment that Kentucky does not will not support abortions at all. And so that constitutional amendment is extremely important for us, which is the Yes for Life campaign that you're very familiar with. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And of course, you're referring to the amendment that will be on the ballot this November. And it says that abortion is not a protected right under the Kentucky Constitution, nor shall public tax dollars be used for abortion in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Representative Tate, we have just a minute here. Could you tell us what do you see happening in the legislature? Again, Governor Beshear has vetoed House Bill 3, the Healthcare and Humanity Act. Do you see the legislature overriding that veto?
I'm very confident that the legislative body will override that veto. You know, with it being House Bill 3, that definitely places it firmly in. This is one of the priority bills for the House. It was passed in the House pretty much along party lines, as well as in the Senate as well. And so I feel very comfortable that this bill there will be a veto override, which I'm very anxious to see that.
We all are. Well, thank you again, Representative Tate, for joining us. Keep up the good work, and may God bless you.
Thank you. May God bless you too. Thank you. Thank you, Richard.